Welcome back. Today we'll be looking at rifle scopes and how they work in Afterconflict. Specifically features such as accurate simulation of scope shadow and parallax, zeroing, the ability to use backup iron sights, and more. Scopes are not a necessity to hit targets at longer ranges, nor do they grant a weapon more accuracy to do so. They are primarily for getting a better look at distant enemies and making sure more of your precise shots land directly on target. Misusing them can result in their use being more of a hindrance than a benefit. Aiming a rifle while standing results in a lot of general instability, only made worse with a scope and factors such as heavy breathing caused by tiredness. So to use scopes effectively, we first recommend stabilizing your weapon on a surface. This eliminates a lot of said instability, allowing you to take more precise shots. Two more common factors that threaten your ability to use your scope effectively are scope shadow and parallax. Scope shadow is present when a shooter does not have the correct level of eye relief or positioning of their eye in relation to a scope, forming a dark ring while looking through the lens. And scope parallax is an optical illusion that occurs when the incorrect positioning of the shooter's eye causes a scope's reticle to seemingly deviate from target, potentially leading to inaccurate shots. To avoid these issues, take care while aiming and firing weapons with higher levels of recoil, especially on full auto. For some users of scopes, such as the PU on the KS-23 or the PU-1 on an AKML firing subsonic ammunition, this may be enough information to work with due to their relatively short effective range. But those who desire to use more complex scopes and take accurate shots at much longer ranges have a lot more to learn. Some scopes, particularly those developed by members of the Warsaw Pact, have stadiometric rangefinders on their reticles. This means that the distance to a target can be determined by comparing the size of a target to a predefined value. For the Soviet PSO-1, this value is the height of an average man, meaning placing the bottom of the rangefinder below a regular soldier will give an accurate approximation of how far away they are. And for the East German ZFK 4x25, the value is the width of the average man's chest, meaning a correct distance measurement can be ascertained by placing a standard soldier's chest between the vertical crosshair and the marks denoting distance. Using a standard black reticle for both shooting and rangefinding in the dark can be tricky at best, near impossible at worst. This is why some scopes have illumination options that light up the reticle to make it visible in said dark conditions. Some need to be turned on manually, and some are automatically lit, usually by radioactive sources like tritium. Like iron sights, to ensure your shots neither fall short nor fly over the top of a target, you can adjust the zeroing of your scope. Use this in conjunction with a stadiometric rangefinder to quickly and efficiently find and dialing your target's distance, so you can fire without having to compensate by lofting your shots. Some rifles allow you to retain the usage of your iron sights while a scope is mounted, and when possible you can quickly and easily swap between the two for firing at different distances and in different situations. You can even zero them separately for this purpose, such as using iron sights for firing bursts at close range, and your scope for single shots during longer range engagements. For those that don't allow you to retain the usage of your iron sights while a scope is attached, whether it be due to the weapon itself or the scope obstructing them, you can instead peek over your scope to get a general idea of where you're shooting without using the scope, effectively point shooting. But be aware that outside of close ranges, this form of aiming is limited in its effectiveness. Using full auto with a scope is ill-advised for various reasons already discussed. And yet another reason is that when firing in rapid succession, your weapon's barrel will heat up. Not only does this mean that the barrel will expand, increasing bullet spread, but a heat haze may emanate from the barrel itself, distorting your sight picture. Overall, while the specialization of individual rifle scopes varies, their usefulness as a whole varies depending on the situation at hand, and to use them properly, practice and an understanding of individual scope models is vital for success on the battlefield. We hope you've enjoyed this showcase of scopes in Afterconflict, and we'll be showing off more showcases like this one in the future, demonstrating various mechanics that both show our dedication to realism and function as a tutorial for newer players. So stay tuned.